What's happening, guys? Welcome to the Russell Hantz Show. I'm your host, Russell Hantz, and this is the players' performance in the Russell Crown. So, this was an okay season. I mean, it is an okay season. Probably the best of the 40s, and this was a okay at best episode. I didn't really was like jumping for joy because nothing really exciting happens. A lot of things are happening strategically, yes, in a bunch of different ways, but nothing very big, exciting is happening to where you're jumping off your couch like we're used to, like, we did pre-40s. And I think that's because of the people they're casting. They're not making big moves. When moves are there to make, you see them. Huge moves are there to make. And I'll get to that in just a second. And we're going to start with Mike with the player's performance. Mike is getting it now. He is understanding what's happening. I said on my last player's performance that Jesse and Cody are in control of this game. And it was funny because some of the comments that you guys made, you know who you are, said that they don't think that I'm right when it comes to that. I think that we can easily see now, especially Jesse, more Jesse than, but I think they get together like we see every episode and they discuss a lot more than we're actually seeing. So I stand by that. Jesse and Cody are absolutely in control of this game. Now, Mike is seeing that. Everyone is seeing that, but no one is doing anything about it. They had a discussion to get rid of one of them this last episode. It didn't even come close to happening, which means it was only a discussion and nobody was brave enough to make the move. That's called casting. That's who they cast. They cast people that's just safe and that doesn't want to make huge moves like get rid of Jesse with 2 idols in his pocket nonetheless. So you get rid of Jesse like you thought you were about to do, but that conversation probably lasted a second or as long as we seen, and they moved on, and Jesse and Cody convinced them that this is the right move in the game, which is a great play. They're playing great. They've been playing great from the very beginning of the game. There's a few people on here that I don't think that's playing that great, that's still in the game, and we'll get to her in a little bit. Noelle. So, believe it or not, I'm sure you believe it. I don't like to get all sappy, and talk about how great moves, but I love sports. And I like those type of things when people dig deep. You heard that before. And they don't give up and they keep moving and they do things that they think they couldn't have done. I would have probably given her the Russell Crown, but I can't give somebody the Russell Crown that went home. It was such an inspiring moment. And that's more like the word that I like to use. When you play Survivor, you almost think that there's not too much inspiring you can do because your job is to lie, cheat, and steal. Your job is to get people lie. I know you don't like to hear that these days of Survivor, but that's what everybody's doing. So the cheating, yes, everybody's doing that. When you're cheating, when you're lying and cheating, that's almost basically the same thing. Now, stealing, going through someone's bag, is that stealing? No, that's lying and cheating. But stealing is more or less burning someone's socks, hiding the machetes. The type of survivors that we won't see any longer. So we'll see the lying ones, we'll see the cheating ones, but we'll probably never see the stealing ones again in the game. Now, back to Noelle. It was very, very good. I was watching that thinking, she can't do it. It's impossible. How's she going to do that? And then we see her from the beginning, and I've been wanting to see her do a challenge that she couldn't do but does. So they kept going back to her, showing her, and I'm like, does she win this challenge? Because of the way they edited it. And it's freaking amazing seeing her. It's a shame that we don't get to see her compete more, because I think we would have seen her really tough to beat in these challenges. It's a shame that she goes home. Now, do we send her home, or do we send some people that's controlling the game, like Jesse and Cody? Do we do that? Nah, let's just send the one-legged girl home because she's good socially. And that's how they think more. And I guess you should, because more social players are winning the game than physical players and strategic players. It's always about the social game. So I guess that's the smart thing these days, to get rid of the social player even more than the strategic player that's controlling the game. That's just the world we live in now, guys, when it comes to survival. Now, Owen gets tons of time. Owen's always in trouble, and Owen never goes home. So Owen doesn't do anything strategic in this game. He really doesn't do anything physical in this game. Is he a social player? Probably. So he's probably going to get in trouble because he's a social player. Other than that, he's not a great player of Survivor. If he would win this game, then you would see me coming on here explaining why he should not have won the game. But they have that group of people out there that think that if you win the game, you deserve to win the game. If you win the game these days, especially these days, you're lucky as hell. It's all luck. It's nothing else anymore. It's just luck if you win the game. Next. Decided saying next. It's funny how I scroll through some of these names and you forget they even played. Okay, Cody. So Cody, excuse me, Cody is part of the gang that's in control. I think that Cody is in more control of the game than Jesse, but because Jesse has the two idols, it makes him look more in control, and he has way more confidence at this point because of that, and you can tell with his interviews. But I think Cody is more in control of this game, believe it or not. Usually I'm right when it comes to strategic players in this game. But we'll move on to the next one. Next, Sami. And there's tons of moves that Sami can make that he's not making. Sami is exactly now acting his age. He's too scared to make huge moves. He's talking all that smack, right? And I like Sami. I like Sami the Kid. You know it. But I call a spade when it happens. Talking all that smack and doesn't do anything so far. You want to get rid of big players? You want to make big moves? Then make them. But it's hard to think that he would do something like that because he's so young. And now, as days go long in this game, you start getting beat down more and more and more. I say this all the time. People quit in this game without quitting constantly. You don't have to physically quit to quit. And he's so young, he's starting to just do what everybody else wants. Let's see if he can get up. Get up off your ass and make a big move. Let's see if he can do that after suffering in this game. Because like I said, the longer the game goes, the harder it is to play. And they don't have as long as we used to have. There absolutely should be an asterisk by season 41, 42, and 43. Absolutely. Because it's not near as hard as it used to be. So just think, Sami, if you had to play 39 days. Next, Karla. Now, Karla is the one I was talking about, and I keep saying that Karla's playing safe. She's playing a good social game. She's not playing a strategic game either, guys. She's just shutting up and not saying anything. I thought that might be strategic, but I don't think so anymore because she knew who was going to go home. We found out she knew. She changed her vote to make sure it's a unanimous vote. It's like we're playing Big Brother now, where everybody needs to vote the same way, or you're on the outs. Make sure you're not on the outs. Put their name down. Why are you going to put their name down when they're the ones that vote for you at the end of the game? You can easily not put their name down. Then everybody come up to you and say, hey, we're sorry you didn't know, but now she knows. So they're thinking it didn't help her one way or the other because her name was on the block. There you go. Might as well say Big Brother talk. Her name was on the block anyway. So Karla, she knew who was going to get voted out. She has an idol in her pocket. Again, casting. Back in the day, what does people do? They save their... Well, I did. You try to save your alliance so you can go further in the game with your alliance because that's numbers. Now, this is when I talk about super lucky if you go far in the game by not doing anything strategically, having the tools to do it and still not do anything. Man, that sucks. When you have the tools to play strategically and you don't, it shows you're not a strategic player. Now, people might say, well, if she would have done that, she'd be in trouble. It's getting low on numbers, guys. She needs numbers. She almost went home. She needs people to vote for her. Is there anybody loyal to their alliance anymore? Or is it just everyone for themselves? Now, it's just a weird way to cast people when they're like, okay, I'm going to do whatever I need to do to get further in the game. But they don't do that. They just kind of float along. And then, like I said, and I'm going to probably say this over and over and over, it is lucky. They are straight lucky if they get further in this game. It's just not fun to watch when that's all it is. Man, they got people that I don't even know anymore. Oh, that person played? Okay, now, is this the last one? No. We're going to go ahead and talk about Cassidy. Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, that's about how much you know. You don't know them at all. So I'm making sure that is the last, and I think it is. I got one more after Cassidy. So let's talk about Cassidy. Now, she won the challenge. She cried. She did her thing. She did well in the challenge. Congratulations. She stacked some blocks. Congratulations. Jerry won that challenge in our season in Heroes vs. Villains. What's funny about that is, which you don't see, is me showing Jerry, because I'm a contractor. So is Rob, and Rob couldn't get past the third block. But I'm like, you got to build a foundation, Jerry. Let me show you. And I showed her at camp. I'm not saying she won because of me, but it surely helped. Anyway, I lost that challenge, and Cassidy won that challenge, so she's better than me. So we have Cassidy, I don't think is a good player. Another one, we have a few in here. If they make it to the end, it's because of luck. But we do see every once in a while someone saying, like she's going after somebody, and we don't see much of it, or she is playing... You know, her plan is doing this, her strategic play is this, but they're not airing it. So they haven't aired much of her, and someone can play better in this game, and we just don't see it. She might be the one sitting home or watching this video saying, yeah, that's right, I played way better than they showed. But if she wins this game, they would have showed it. So that's why I keep saying I don't think she wins, because they don't show too much of her really moving and shaking and making big moves, even though we hear glimpses of it might be happening behind the scenes. So now, next, we will go to the Russell Crown, and it's easy this episode, and that's Jesse. Jesse's balling right now, guys, and he has two idols. He's making the right moves. He's making the right decisions. It'd be nice if Jesse brings that money home. Go get that money, boy. Like his son says. He didn't say it that way, but I think that it's his story. We know his story. It's a pretty inspiring story nonetheless. And I would be okay. I would absolutely be okay if Jesse wins the game, because he would deserve it at this point. Cody would deserve it. You have Gabler starting to... he's starting to make some moves to where I can be okay if he wins. other than that, and I know we have 3 episodes left, and that's when people start making huge moves. Hopefully next episode we'll have a huge move, or the episode. I don't think so, because the big move is probably going to be Jesse using that idol to save himself or something like that. And if they don't use idols, they're just getting too close to the end not to use 2 idols. You can use one, use next. Talk to James Clements about that. 2 of these, and you go home. So we don't want that for Jesse. That would be... We want to jump off the couch and get excited. We don't see much of that anymore. Hopefully, the last 3 episodes will give us that. I will be talking about... I talked about the numbers, and I got a text from a previous survivor. I talked about that on Enhanced Reality. If you haven't subscribed yet, go subscribe. There's more to that channel than just talking Survivor. Right now I'm talking Survivor because Survivor's on, but that's the channel to where I do a lot. When I do go to Thailand and the Philippines or Asia, I'll be doing a lot on that channel, and this channel too, but I open up on that channel on Enhanced Reality. I'm able to do that. So I'll put the link in the description below if you want to check that out. I'll be talking about more ratings on that channel, where it's looking bad right now. Last episode was the worst ratings in Survivor history. And I know they're streaming. Well, I'm gauging from the first episode upstreaming and this one upstreaming. So just saying, last season was streaming. I'm going by these numbers. So it's the worst episode going by these numbers ever. That's all I got for you guys. Go subscribe to Enhanced Reality. Until next time, keep hope alive.